Hello, everyone! Indeed, it is another wonderful day God hath bestowed upon us. I'm Yunazal Astuanda, BS NED student, and today we will be learning the taxation in Spanish Philippines. So, let us begin. Philippines, an archipelagic country located in South Asia, known at its abundance in natural resources, even before the colonization of the Spaniards. We have this thought that the concept of taxation began in Spanish era, but it's not. Yes, it is a misconception. Our ancestor performs a practice that resembles to taxation. To compensate the protection they received, they provide a payment of tribute or taxes, also known as buhis or handog, or the obligation to provide labor service to the datus in some early Filipino communities. Everyone is required to pay their taxes except for the datus chieftain's household. Punishment for not paying taxes was also implemented. However, the invasions of Spaniards in the year 1521 up till 1898 gave the Filipinos a modern concept of taxation, wherein 16 years old to 60 years old were forced to pay tributes or tributo to signify the loyalty to the King of Spain through the colonial government worth 8 reals or 1 peso per year. Well, of course, during that time, that is really a huge amount of money. So other forms of payment like gold, chickens, textile, rice, and forced labor or polo y servicio is also considered as payment during that time. So the Spaniards introduced the system of reduction, where it aims to be in full control over the Philippines' indigenous communities by compelling prominent individuals to relocate into pueblos constructed in a linear manner. This settlement is introduced by the Spaniards to solve their dilemma in dispersed settlement. In other words, they wanted the natives to be gathered together and not to live in a scattered manner because it will be harder for them to have the full control they wanted. The Principalia or the noble class, usually educated upper class in the town of colonial Philippines, composed of the alcaldes, gobernadores, cabeceras de barangay, guardia civil, government officials, and vagrants or the beggars, are exempted from the payment of tributos. So we see that towards the end of the 16th century, the Manila-Acapulco trade was established through the galleons, a way by which Spaniards could make sure that European presence would be sustained. The trade route is connected to Asia, America, and Europe. This was made possible thanks to the discovery of sea current that enabled ships to quickly cross the Pacific Ocean from west to east. Once in a year, the galleon would be loaded up with merchandise from Asia and then sent to Spain and then back. This improves our economy and reinforces Spaniards' control. Yet still, tax collection continued to be very poor. As time goes by, Spain abolished tributo and was replaced with cedula, or we call it now as community tax certificate, in which it allowed them to keep track of the people who could pay taxes. In contrast to tributo, which is paid by family, cedula on the other hand is paid by individual and had to be carried by taxpayers every single time. Yes, it is progressive and is based on the income of taxpayers, yet still it was a heavy burden for the peasants and of course an advantage for the wealthy ones. This has also become the main source of the government income. Forced labor was rampant in Spanish era. Men are used in defending the colony's territory. The labor consists of woodcutting and shipbuilding, especially during the galleon trade. Polo y servicio is where Filipino men become polista or Filipino native forced to work under any circumstances. Filipinos become the servant of its own nation. Men suffered a lot and this had caused the rise of death rate and fly to the mountains, which lead to a decreased population in 7th century. The reason why they made it lighter. Males were required to work 40 days a year and was reduced to 15 days a year later on. So in conclusion, taxation in the Philippines during the Spanish colonial period was characterized by the heavy burden placed on the Filipinos. People to whom given the power and the authority use it to enrich themselves by pocketing tributos and falas, while peasants, they are left abused. Yes, taxation appeared progressive, but disparity between the less taxed principales and the heavily taxed peasant made the rich richer and the poor poorer.
So that would be all from my report today. I hope that you had learned something. Thank you.